I'm going to talk about an archaeological site and the discoveries at a place called Must Farm. My thesis is that new discoveries at Must Farm in England have given recent insight into the Bronze Age, with historians and archaeologists changing their views of the earlier use of tools, burial customs, and the housing during the Bronze Age. Must Farm in Whittlesley, England, was a Bronze Age settlement. The British Isles consist of England and Ireland. These isles are home to many Bronze Age sites and are important to history and culture. Must Farm became an archaeological dig in 1999 due to finding wooden poles in the dirt. An extensive excavation of the area began in 2006 and excavations continued through 2016. 3,000 years ago, the site was quickly wiped out by a fire, and the soggy soil and silt preserved the settlement after being buried in the River Nene. The quote, "Its destruction by a catastrophic fire has provided an exceptional opportunity to investigate how people inhabited and affected their world in the final decades of the Bronze Age in Britain," by Mark Knight et al., states the exciting discovery. The fire swept through at least 2 roundhouses, which were built on wooden stilts above a channel connected to the River Nene, and which were bordered by some sort of perimeter. Like any good detective story, clues advance the narrative. A bowl, complete with wooden spoon and an unfinished meal. A discovery that suggests that whoever lived here left in a hurry. This is by Stephen Castle. First, there are many unanswered questions remaining about the sites, and an ongoing investigation is continuing to complete the picture. Some of the items found at Must Farm provide conclusive facts on how people lived during the Bronze Age. Materials found at the site include spools or whorls of thread or twining, bobbins, pottery, beads, metalwork, and loom weights, to name a few. Weapons that were found at Must Farm include spears, spearhead, a sickle-shaped tool, 2 rapiers, and a short dagger known as a dirk. The weapons showed how people at the settlement knew about weapons from other parts of the countries and made copies. Some burial sites that were unearthed during the Bronze Age proved that cremation and mummification occurred. How and where people were buried throughout the Bronze Age in Britain give insight, but leaves many questions unanswered. Burial mounds and tombs are scattered throughout the British Isles, and burial rituals changed with time. In addition, the Bronze Age brought a movement of people settling and constructing houses. Circular buildings were erected on piles over the River Nene. There were 5 in total, over a low-lying river. Pile dwellings are houses built on wooden timbers driven into the marshy land, forming platforms constructed almost fully of wood. The structures jutted above the waterline, forming a walkway with small poles and timbers. A roundhouse or circular dwelling was a residence used during the Bronze Age with wooden posts and sometimes stone posts. A key factor in reconstructing the roundhouse and settlement is where the timbers fell undisturbed. Furthermore, we don't know what the palisade was. It could have been wooden stakes to form a fence-like structure alongside the roundhouses. They could have been used for defense, a stockade, a barricade, an enclosure. We don't know. Questions are still being answered. Purpose and function give archaeologists questions to do with their new discoveries in the years to come. In conclusion, the condition and preservation of the settlement aided the proper identification of many items. The questions who, what, where, when, and why are being discussed to make sense of what was found at the site. The fascinating discoveries are photographed and documented for future studies. Theories about what has been found continue to be discussed, and to get a clear picture of the settlement. The settlement and its discoveries are an ongoing project, re-examining previous artifacts, making discoveries every year, and changing our understanding. The new discoveries brought a better understanding and gave insight into the Bronze Age, changing opinions of historians and archaeologists about the earlier tool, burial customs, and housing.